but not all drag queens are sexually available.
That's a very personal choice.
Coming out to my parents was like right out of a Karan Johar movie drama.
Do you feel before your dad passed away, he kind of accepted the part
Yes.
of... Sorry, guys, I don't pay my guests.
I'm looking at my sexuality history.
Do you want to get married, Alex?
Alex can't be a woman.
The person that matters and not their gender.
Yes, then my femininity overpowers my masculinity.
I mean, do you see Maya as your alter ego?
In the generation, like gay men, queer men, especially from Kerala, they hate Chandwood. Men like to have buffet of identities.
But what's bad in walking like a lady?
So, women's rights and LGBT rights coincide together.
Have you ever felt like transforming to a woman? Welcome back to yet another episode of the Mumbai Malayali show, where I interview personalities who have helped in shifting the narrative. First of all, thank you so much for all the love that has been pouring in. It means a lot. But today's episode is extremely special and extremely personal for me. Before I introduce who the guest is, here is a small backstory that I want to share it with you guys. So 4 to 5 years back, when I just was thinking of starting a show like this, I came across an Instagram profile, a Malayali, and I was like, when I make it big, I would definitely want to bring this person to the show because I want to bring the story out. This personality is extremely unique. He's very special, and I thought I'll interview him when I'll make it. Cut to last week, there was one person who was supposed to be a part of the show, but for unfortunate or for XYZ reason, that person backed out in the last minute. And I was like, this is it. What to do? I don't have a guest for the next show. So I just took a chance and I messaged this person. And to my surprise, he actually said, babes, let's do this. And I don't know if that is manifestation or if it was a dream come true moment. But for me, this was like my prayer being answered. Something that I thought I would do it after years or years or years. But it came, and that person is right in front of me. His name is Alex Mathew. He is the first drag queen from Kerala who made drag as a popular art form here. He is also a content creator and influencer who has been featured in Vogue thrice. He is also a TEDx speaker. He is an actor who's been featured in multiple music videos, and he's right here in front of me. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Sandhya.
You came all the way from Bangalore just to be a part of this show. So to start with, thank you so much. I discovered your profile, I guess, 4 to 5 years back. And it was such an interesting, because where I come from, I always saw drag from a Western lens. And then I see suddenly you doing drag, and that also like a Malayali drag queen, where I was extremely shocked, surprised, and I think today also I don't completely understand the art form and the story, which is why I thought it's best to have you and bring out this story. So thank you so much for having for being here in the show.
Anytime. So like I think I mentioned this to you before, that when you wrote that message, it came from heart. So for me, it was like, I really need to work with you, and this is like the most brilliant opportunity that I found. And I also want to tell people about what is drag as an art form, and it should not be fetishized, and it should not be seen trivial. So that's what I'm here for. So.
Okay, so I remember when I was telling my friends that I'm interviewing a drag personality, a drag queen. A lot of people just didn't understand what is drag as a term, and I don't think drag is still much of a popular art form, or where it is supposed to be. I don't think it's still reached there. So I think the whole objective of the show was we break down what is drag, that is the art form, and the artist, that is you. So to start with, if I have to explain what is drag in a layman language, how would you explain drag as an art form?
So drag is just an art form where it's all about shape-shifting, if a man dresses up as a woman on stage, it is for purely entertainment purposes only. There is no lining of fetishizing and all that. But see, a lot of people who are, in terms of their gender and sexuality, like a trans woman can be a drag queen, a straight man can be a drag queen. So there is no restrictions as such in terms of whoever can be a drag queen. And drag, even though you're saying that it took a long time for them to, make it mainstream, it has been existing since 17th century, where, in if you look at our traditional art forms, Kathakali, Teyyam, have men performing the women roles because women were not allowed to perform. The same goes for Shakespearean times, and if you do the research, you will find it as well. Women were not allowed, and you can notice the characters like from Shakespearean plays were mostly played by feminine men. So in a way, drag has been part of our society, just that people have been alienating these performers. And that's the same thing which has been happening to me as well, in terms of people are not able to understand my art form, people are not able to connect, or they're trying to box me. Oh, so are you going to be a trans woman, are you going to be a cross dresser, or what is this, or are you going to be in between? And I'm like, just take me as just a performer. I just come perform in front of you, you pay me for performing, and that's it, so
So you're saying that Kathakali and Theyyam is also a form of Indian drag.
yes.
So I now again it's a very out of curiosity. If Theyyam and Kathakali is also a drag form, I think it's also respected because it comes from a more of a spiritual place. But I feel like probably the drag that we are talking about here, the drag dance that we are talking about here, it it's more, is it, do you feel it's kind of sexualized and it's put in a box and that is why it's not got the respect it is still
Yeah,
needed?
so mostly the performances that happen in India with drag performances are usually happening in nightclubs, and that is the very existing reason why they fetishize it, because people come to get drunk and then they see the drag queens, and then the whole idea is that they're easily available. But not all drag queens are sexually available. They just want to come perform and leave.
That's a very personal choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they're attracted to the XYZ person, yeah, that is their like consent vegetable. They will go and do whatever they feel like, but they won't, editha chadi, like, like, oh, he winked at me, I will go. No, that's
No,
never
it
going to
doesn't.
happen.
I also drag, I think, was adapted here from the West.
Then,
Like, for example, Kathakali and Them, okay, നമ്മളുടെ ഇവിടുന്ന് വന്ന ഒരു art form ആണ്. പക്ഷേ the drag that we are talking about here is adapted from the West. So is it also the reason why it is still not being popular in India because it's still seen as a very Western and a modern concept?
see, ഞാനാണെങ്കിൽ 3 times I've given TEDx talk. Each time I went and gave it as a drag queen. People, a lot of people in the audience came to me and saying, "But this is part of our society. Is the society under? Then why you coming and giving us a talk?" No. But the problem why I'm giving a talk is because people still don't look at it as an art form. They don't look at us as a performer. And that is exactly what I'm trying to bust. Well, that's the major problem that I'm facing for now 10 years now. It's going to be like 10 years of my work, and people are still having problem of understanding a difference between a drag queen and a crossdresser and a trans woman.
Since you mentioned about 10 years, so let's, to start with, congratulations. It's been 10 years that you started performing drag. It's interestingly, it's also been 10 years that you came out of your closet to your family.
Yes.
How was that experience?
Well, interesting is when I performed the first time, it was exhilarating experience because first of all, like wearing sari for the first time and having like air coming from different parts of your body which never felt air before. So that, and I noticed something the moment I stepped on stage, I was a totally different person. That is something which the moment I'll keep cherishing on when I'm looking at 10 years. Coming out to my parents was like right out of a Karan Johar movie, drama. Like,
Why would you say that?
because mom was like, എനിക്ക് നിന്റെ സെക്ഷുവാലിറ്റിയുടെ കാര്യം ഒന്നും കേൾക്കണ്ട, പക്ഷെ നീ ഡ്രാഗ് ഒരിക്കലും ചെയ്ത്. Like the second time I was saying I'm going to perform again, and she said, no, ചെയ്യാൻ പാടില്ല. Father was like, sexuality is a sin, but drag is okay as long as you get paid for it.
Okay.
So I had both my parents having an opposite points of view. And what I decided is I'll give them time and space. I'll say, listen, I will come and meet you sometime, or we will talk sometime. We had like 1.5 years of silence, or whenever we speak it will be anger. ഏതൊരു എൻ്റെ കസിൻ്റെ വെഡിങ്ങിന് പോയപ്പോൾ my mother was very rude to me. I've never seen her be rude to me. And ആരാണ്ട് ചോദിച്ചു, അപ്പൊ മോന്റെ കല്യാണം എപ്പോഴായിരിക്കും? എനിക്കറിയില്ല.
But you told that 10 years back you came to your family as bisexual. How did you convey that to your parents?
I was building up email for like 6 months, and I was writing what I have to say. Used Bible verses and all I put in that email.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is
which Bible verse did you quote to justify your bisexuality?
I said, see, Jesus Christ said 2 things only: love yourself and love others as yourself. The other parts of the Bible is not valid. This is his teaching, ultimate teaching. So I think you should focus on that, is what I said.
But your parents knew what was bisexual?
I had to put the meaning.
Okay.
So the meaning I put, and their immediate rebuttal was, if you are bisexual, why don't you endure and just marry off a woman? അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു, ഇല്ല, ഞാൻ കല്യാണം കഴിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ you will tell the girl that I am bisexual.
Okay.
Like I'm not telling, you will tell. അപ്പോ അത് പറഞ്ഞപ്പോ they backed off. They were like, no, we can't be part. Since now they have not.
Okay, cut to now. How is your family dynamic? So I'm sure that 10 years back when you told this to your family, they reacted in a certain way. I'm not sure how your relatives reacted to it, but what is the current situation like?
So dad is no more. During COVID, he passed on because of complications of diabetes. But before his, before, like when I went to meet him before he passed away, he said, you be careful now. You are in the entertainment industry. You should have your antennas always on. With this, whatever he could say, he said that to me. So that is like my parting thing. Like he understands that I'm a performer and this is my life. So I should make sure that I'm well protected.
Do you feel before your dad passed away, he kind of accepted the part of you?
Yes.
And
he actually was telling a lot of his friends, I want to go and see him perform.
Wow.
But they never got a chance because he was working that 9 to 6 jobs. And by the time, and you know how namalde Bangalore, famous Bangalore traffic is.
Yeah.
It's not like he was in Electronicity and coming to the art side of town. He was in MG Road. But from MG Road to come to our city, it takes a toll.
So your parents have never watched a drag performance?
No, only through videos. Only through videos in social media.
Is there any, do you wish or do you plan to have your mom?
So I'll tell you a special instance. Her favorite actress is Rekha.
Okay.
Apo she's told me kore stories, when she was in college, she used to have a cupboard like this, and there used to be cutouts of Rekha. So different cutouts, not just like one this thing. So ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം when I was performing, there was 1,000 nights of Rekha where we were giving tribute to her. So ആ സമയത്ത് I'm saying I'm going to perform as Rekha. That's the only time she came out of the house and says, all the best, Kato, you do well, like that,
Wow.
So I was like, wow, that's a different thing altogether. She actually wanted me to dress up as Rekha in Khubsurat, the movie. But Khubsurat Rekha is very like traditional, homely girl. But I had to dress up as Khoonbari Mang Rekha. Which is, of course, drag and like out of the world kind of looks and all of that. So that she accepted. She's like, okay, you're doing Rekha, so I'll
That
give
is all
you
it
gift.
matters.
That all matters. So yeah.
But do you wish your mom to at some point come and watch you perform live?
I mean, it is a wish, but I'm not pushing her because I want her to be comfortable.
And-
Because right now she is comfortable with who I am. She's taken. I don't have to put her in front of camera and tell her, listen, tell her, talk about me. No, that's not. We are. I mean, as all Malayalis are, we are modest. We don't want to take it out and show it in camera and all of that. She wants to see it in video and be happy. That's her thing, actually.
So are you saying that your mom completely accepted the way you are?
Yes, she has. And Ipam now, like any sort of big project that comes, I run it by her and she gives me the best advice.
Wow, that's
Like
interesting.
any big, like this and all I told her. And she's like, ഇത് വല്ല കാശ് കിട്ടുന്നുണ്ടോ? ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞില്ല, കിട്ടുന്നില്ല.
Sorry guys, I don't pay my guests. I believe in organic thingy.
I said interviews നിന്ന് കാശ് കിട്ടാൻ പോകുന്നില്ല, ഞാൻ അവിടെ പോവാ. That's all I am doing. This is out of our goodwill. That's what I said. And
But
she's
I
like,
will see.
okay.
We can get on a call with your mom after this. I'll tell hello to your mom.
Yeah. She's like, she's happy that I was coming to Cochin because Cochin is where it all started. Yeah.
10 years back, when you explained this to your family, of course, your parents had their own way of accepting it. But I think you were also mentioning that how your relatives started behaving, and even today, they behave weirdly around you, and your mom had certain health conditions that went down because of a lot of reasons. What was that experience like, and was there any moment at that point you kind of regretted for going through this and taking your family through this?
So till date, they don't want to address the elephant in the room, and the elephant in the room meaning my sexuality and drag as an art form. They don't understand why I'm doing it. Also for the fact that when I came out and they saw all of that, they ostracized my mom in the family, like making sure she's not being talked to, making sure she's being left out. Earlier they used to include her, but suddenly just because of my situation, they said, like they didn't have to say it. It's how they make you feel.
കല്യാണത്തിനൊക്കെ വിളിക്കാൻ
Like basically we have family get together. ആ സമയത്ത് there was like a couple of my aunties who made sure, aunties my mother's cousins, just ostracized her, and that is not fair. For a long time I was really angry with them because of the fact that they did this to my mother, and it actually internalizes inside you, and she felt sick. And obviously all the fingers pointing will come towards me because I went through this change, that's why my mom felt sick. But I know in my gut was saying it's not your fault, it is their fault. They're not trying to understand you.
You were very sure about it?
Yeah. I was very sure because I'm like, why, how is this my fault? You are making sure you're hurting her. And yet now also they have not come to me and said sorry that we said this to you, XYZ and all of that. They meet me, we just hug it out.
What about your father's side of the family? Did they accept you?
You tell me frankly, in any family, father's side is like absent in the picture, basically. I don't think they are even aware.
നമ്മൾ എന്തോ ചെയ്താലും father's side of the family is always a little weird towards
like
us.
They are not, it's always the mother's side that is actually more dominant than the father's side. So they don't, I think they keep asking me, I'm like,
Innum under pressure. Do you want to get married, Alex?
No. I mean, I've seen the amount of closet cases that they get married. They all feel like happy, that temporary happiness is there, but eventually they get sad. They like, they took a decision like this and it eats them.
So are you saying that you don't believe in love?
I do believe in love,
but I don't
believe in the traditional approach.
You don't believe in the institution of marriage?
Yes.
But you wish to have a life partner?
Yeah, I do.
So what's your identity like? You're cis queer man.
Yes.
So can you explain ipo oru samanya malayali aalkare idu manasilakanengil what is a cis queer man?
Cis nu parnja identify with the gender I was born with. Queer nu parnja I feel that sexuality is fluid, that anybody can be straight, gay, bisexual, pansexual in any point of their life.
Mm.
Because I noticed that change within me where
Okay.
it kept fluctuating for me.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I want to identify, I don't want to be put into any particular box.
Okay.
And man, you know what is man.
So you, if we have to put you in LGBTQA plus,
Mm.
you want to
Q.
be in the Q
Q.
part of
Q
it.
part.
Okay, fine. Because I think that is also something a lot of people don't realize it here. That is why there is a lot
And
of.
also, the thing is, if you look at the literal meaning of queer, everybody thinks it's weird, but
Hmm.
it's not. But if you look at Namalde dictionary meaning, or sorry, the sexuality dictionary meaning of it,
Hmm.
it means that you can identify that sexuality is fluid and
Okay.
it can change at any point of your lifetime.
So, Alex, if I have to, if the way I have perceived it is for you, it's the person that matters and not their gender.
Yes.
So, you get attracted towards the person and not their gender. And that's
Yeah.
how you would like to
But
identify it.
ideally, looking at my sexual history, sexuality history,
Uh-huh.
it has been men and women only.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Not with like trans people.
Okay. Now we spoke about the artist, that is you, Alex. Now let's talk about your stage name Maya, your drag form Maya. So why is there another? How is the stage name? Why do you guys adopt another name?
Because we are dressing up as a woman.
Okay.
So Alex can't be a woman. I
Huh.
mean, though in the West there are women with the name Alex,
Hmm.
predominantly it's a male name.
Okay.
And what usually drag queens do is they don't want to be associated with their birth name, which is very
Ah.
similar to what trans people also go through. They don't like to be associated with their dead names.
Hmm.
So we have a stage name.
Okay.
Like the same case with if Beyonce is called Beyonce,
Hmm.
that is just her first name and that is a
Okay.
stage name. But her full name is Beyonce Jills Dolls Carter. Like that, that's a whole full name. She's not known by that. So the same thing is even with Rekha, if you look at it. Rekha is known as Rekha Germany Ganeshan.
Hmm.
You know, or Rekha Pashpati, like, you know, that kind of thing. So it's just the stage name.
How did the name Maya come out?
Maya came out. I think I saw one movie and I saw the name, like, you know, Maya flashing of a character, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. So Pandit, the drag name that I put was called as Mayamma.
Hmm.
So in Malayalam, if you literally translate it, it is mother of illusion or mother of magic.
Hmm.
So Angane, I came with that name. The reason why I changed it is because people are associating with me being a trans woman, and at the same time, there is a goddess named Mayamma in Kanyakumari. And people were like, oh my god, you might be, you know, like, and slowly they were tagging me, by the way. Devotees of Mayamma was tagging me on their picture.
Did you like the fact that people thought you were a
Yeah,
goddess?
I mean, initially it was great. Then I'm like, no, this is not right. You know, like it's not right because Kanyakumari poi, and then I saw the temple, and I'm like, this is nowhere close to how I look.
The divine energy that you pour, I think maybe that is what
Yeah,
people.
that is also the issue. You know, like a lot of men see you as goddess, and that they think you are unachievable.
Ah.
Angante pedestal when you keep, and the moment you show that you are a human being,
Like
they're
every
shocked.
other person or like every other human being.
They get shocked. They're like,
Okay.
yo, no, this is not what I built up in my head. Please.
So you didn't want to be a disappointment to
Yeah,
people.
so I literally put Maya the drag queen. So if you have some sense, if you don't know what is drag queen, you Google and say drag queen. But people still don't do it.
Yeah, I personally had to do a lot of my research right when I was working around on this interview, and then I realized that there's so much of ambiguity still. The
Yeah.
education system, everything is still so much not there out there. That is
Yeah.
the reason why I thought it's best to have you, and who better than you to talk about it.
Yes.
So then there is by birth your Alex, and then there's your stage name or your drag name, that's Maya. What's the difference between Alex and Maya?
Right now we are both the same. There is no difference, and I keep saying that we both are the same person. Earlier when I started, there was this whole like, oh, when I'm ironing her blouse and when I'm packing her wig and makeup and all, I suddenly become Maya and all of that. And then 2 days later after performance, it takes time for Maya to go away. The problem what was happening was people were looking at me as Maya being fully confident, like confidence level on it 200%. And then you have Alex who is not so confident and is at 50%. So people saw the visible disconnect. So through the years, 10 years, I made sure that Alex amps up with Maya. The 200%, I'm also being in the 200%.
So do you think Maya kind of helped in building the confident
Yes.
Alex?
Yes. I keep saying Maya yanked Alex out of the closet.
Wow. Okay.
I keep saying that.
So do you see Maya as your alter ego?
It's again, she's part of me. Like
Today
she is part of me because see, I had this conversation with you before as well that all human beings have different variations of masculinity and femininity. Now, in my case, I know for the fact that my femininity overpowers my masculinity. Like I could be 60 to 40%, 60% being feminine and 40% being masculine. That varies with different people. Now, so when this is overpowering, like, when I was trying to figure out back then, I was performing, but I still felt like I'm stagnant. I went and met a friend who's a trans man, and he told me, Alex, you have a beautiful feminine quality. Like, I was just performing like in his house, and he just told me, you have a beautiful feminine quality. And that was the thing that sparked the whole idea of I should, take the feminine quality and make it my own.
I think back then when we were in school, and if a guy possesses a feminine energy, he's always been put down. He's been termed gay, but not in a good sense, or he would be called as like a trans or something in that. I don't know. There are so many terms that we vaguely use it when a guy would walk in a certain way, or he would his body movements would be in a different way. So it's always been put down. But today you're telling that very feminine energy gave you the strength to be what you are.
Yeah, they did. So for me, when I was studying in Cochin, by the way, in Martha Public School, my classmates looked at the way I walked and said, "Oh, you walk like a lady." And back then, I felt.
But
hurt.
what's bad in walking like a lady?
Wait, so back then, you're not being taught anything, right, about sex education or about gender. I went and cried in front of my mother that men are calling me as like walking like a lady, and all of them had meesha sprouting out, hair coming out everywhere. I was the only one didn't have anything. So I was like, what is my problem? That kind of thing. Now, when I look back to that situation, I'm like walking like a lady. I'm making money out of it, So this is actually a compliment. But right now, when I see these comments on like feminine men, especially in Kerala, and they calling all these weird ass names, I don't understand why straight men are so obsessed with that word. Like it's like they want to be that word.
We'll just say this. We'll just say this. Yeah.
Usually whenever I see, like, whenever somebody writes in my comment they're saying gay, I said, oh my god, thank you so much, you made me realize it, thank you.
But so at talking about trolling, I'm sure it was not all nice and buttery. You might have gone through your own struggle as well.
Yeah, so trolling for me, nobody can come and do it physically with me. You can see already pokkondu. I'm broad. One kick, they will fall flat on the floor. The most of trolling is usually through online.
Because that's where trollers
they can just click and do. So it ranges from saying the bad choice of bad words, which ranges from chakka, kundan, all of that stuff, to people just posting random Bible quotes into my comments. I'm happy that Instagram has introduced a lot of controls where if somebody writes like that, somebody writes something really bad on your
Mm.
profile, on your comment, you can actually go and restrict the person.
Mm.
They will reply, you don't get to see the comment. That is, I'm glad that control has come in. So that is how I manage these comments.
But Alex,
Either
at any
the same
point,
time, I bring my sassy side out. Like somebody says something and then I just give it back to them.
but are you saying at any point these kind of comments, they have not put you down?
Oh, in the beginning of my drag career, it did put me down because I started to internalize it. There's some people said stuff like you're too overrated, you're this, I mean, what sort of cringe content are you making? Like the recent one I think I did for Keeping Up with the Cooties, where it was an Onam edition. And you know, you're doing the Californian accent and you're talking in the the Onam dishes in a very Californian accent. Somebody just came and just randomly, not following me, said, "Oh, this is such cringe content," and they post on their profile positive quotes. Oh, life should be looking at a different view and all of that. I'm like, you're such a hypocrite. Coming to my listing and saying it's a cringe content, and you're posting about positive quotes on your profile.
But because of this very reason, I think recently, few months back, a young boy committed suicide. Because of all the negative comments out there. And
just because like he wore sari.
Yeah.
He was wearing sari and he was just, what is the word to use? He was expressing himself. He was just singing, or he was just lip syncing to famous numbers. And that is something. This is the problem with trollers out there. They don't have empathy. They don't have a sense of okay, this person will have feelings. They don't care about all of that.
They literally, because of those comments, one guy just took his life, and that's the strength.
And I went back to the profile and I checked the comments again. They still were rejoicing the fact that he's died. I'm like, you guys are nothing less. I mean, animals are better.
Unfortunately, we live in that kind of society. Now, talking about Kerala, which is, of course, where we come from, very conservative society, where everything is well predefined for us. Like, at this age, you're studying, and then you're doing your MBA, and then you're getting married. If you're a woman, you're getting married to a man. If you're a man, you're getting married to a woman, and then you have 2 kids, and other kind of avade padtham, avade kalyanam, and then you become grandparents. The cycle is well defined here in a conservative society like us. Angante oru society la coming out like this, where you challenge the norms and you're living out. There are so many people who are still staying closeted just because of the fear that they will be judged, whether they will be accepted in the society or not. So what gave you that strength to just come out and did you not face the fear of being rejected?
Obviously, I did face the fear. I'll be saying a lie to all of you if I said I didn't face the fear. I did face the fear, but theatre actually taught me to accept the true me. There was a show which I was talking about, the trans man who told me that I have a amazing feminine quality, was performing in that show, and they actually told in terms of a story about their life, about how acceptance was so important. That day or that night or evening or whatever, I just made up my mind. I'm not going to hide anymore. So eventually theatre saved my life.
Now this next question I want to talk in Malayalam, because my Malayalam sucks. I think your
Malayalam sucks.
That's perfect. That's perfect. But this conversation എനിക്ക് മലയാളത്തിൽ വളരെ important ആണ്, because I might switch to English again, but I'll try to have this conversation in Malayalam. കാരണം ഇപ്പോഴും കുറെ വീട്ടില് this is seen as a taboo. ആദ്യമേ ഇപ്പം തന്നെ പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു ചെറുക്കൻ പറഞ്ഞാൽ that he's gay or he's bisexual, ഇവിടെ ഇപ്പോഴും ആദ്യമേ ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഓക്കെ കൗൺസിലറിനെ കൊണ്ടുവരാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പള്ളിയിലെ ഒരു അച്ഛനെ കൊണ്ടുവരാം, ഓൺ എന്തെങ്കിലും മാനസികമായ എന്തെങ്കിലും പ്രോബ്ലം ആയിരിക്കും. അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു സമയത്ത് ലൈക്ക് ആ സൊസൈറ്റി, ഈവൻ വെൻ ഇറ്റ് കംസ് ടു മൂവീസ്, there is still not been ഒരു പ്രോപ്പർ റെപ്രസെന്റേഷൻ ഇല്ല. there's still no proper representation of LGBTQ in Malayalam movie industry. നമ്മൾ എത്ര മലയാളം ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിയെ കുറിച്ച് പറഞ്ഞാലും how we have progress and cinema wise നമ്മൾ content wise എത്ര progress ആയാലും it finally took a movie like Kadal for a superstar like Mammootty to do it for to bring that conversation back.
Yeah.
But other നമുക്ക് ഇനി ബാക്ക് ട്രാക്ക് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ let's talk about Chandapottu movie, one of the most problematic movie if we have to say. When ഞാൻ ആ Chandapottu movie കണ്ടപ്പോൾ I enjoyed the movie. I thought Dilip was fabulous as an actor in that entire movie. പക്ഷേ in hindsight ഒരു 5 വർഷം കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഞാൻ Chandapottu കണ്ടപ്പോൾ I felt like maybe it was a bit of problematic. So let's talk about representation of LGBTQ community in Malayalam industry. Where do you think we have gone wrong? From Chandapottu to Kadal, we've come a long way. Where do you think we have gone wrong?
The problem is that harmful stereotypes is being propagated. Like ipam Chandapottu Dilip is overtly feminized. Like there are feminine men out there, but at the same time they were not showing a lot of facets of his life. It was very, if you look at it, it was very myopic, but narrow-minded. I know character.
But it was very clear Chandapottu that Dilip was attracted to women. He was not gay. But for him to come out,
no. But if yes, that is right. But at the same time, it was affecting all the queer men out there. Because if we showed a sign of being feminine, immediately we were termed as Chandapottu
ഒരു തെറിയായിട്ട് മാറി.
Because I still remember ഞാൻ കോളേജ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ബാംഗ്ലൂർ കോളേജിൽ പഠിക്കുമ്പോൾ I think I was a little like being free and I was walking my walk, lady walk, and one girl just turned around and said, and she's a dancer by the way, contemporary Bharatanatyam dancer, turns back and says, നീ എന്താണ് ഇങ്ങനെ ചാന്തോട്ടായിട്ട് നടക്കുന്നത്? It shocked me. I was like, I didn't expect that from her. And she's actually a teacher now and all in college. So I was like, this is the problem. It is all about conditioning. You're conditioned that feminine men are bad, or
and they have to unlearn and be masculine to fit into the society.
Yeah, because of the fact that they are harmful. They will never survive in the society.
അതല്ലേ ചാന്തപൊട്ടിലെ മൂവിയില്
മീശ വളർത്തണം, താടി വളർത്തണം, കുറെ like the way you walk also there should be a gait, that kind of a thing. അതെല്ലാം I still remember ഞാനാണെങ്കിൽ when I got teased as, oh, you're walking like a lady, I tried to correct my way of walking. Can you imagine? I was in
How
that
old
stage.
were you?
Teenager, like starting off, early onset of being a teenager. The thing is, every എൻ്റെ generation like gay men, queer men, especially from Kerala, they hate Chandapottu. They hate it to the core, to a point where they get angry. Like it's the same case with even North Indian gay men and queer men who was angry with a movie like Dostana being released. Because avareyum harmful stereotypes ഉണ്ട്. So the industry should understand how to be sensitive, which is not, I mean, if you look at what's happening around with Hema Committee reportum, and they're not being nice towards women, how are they going to be nice towards LGBT community? Because of the fact that women's rights and LGBT rights coincide together.
Can you explain more on that?
Like, see, we, like if you, I don't know if you notice, like if we get sexually harassed or we get molested and all of that, it's the same situation what a women go through. So when I say rights coincide, if you notice, when the committee report came out, women actresses came forward and said, did you notice makeup artists are coming forward too? And these are all, like, I don't know their sexuality, but they are feminine makeup artists, feminine men who are makeup artists. They're coming forward and saying stories. So don't you see the how it's coinciding, that it is same? And it would have been great if the LGBT community and women, they stood together and fought against the patriarchy society.
It's unfortunate that the Malayalam industry ingathoru report vannu, but I mean I'm finally the shift is happening.
Yeah.
Finally, it's going to be
This
discussed.
conversation is happening.
This conversation is
Yeah,
happening.
if this conversation is not happening, then it's the problem.
Then it's, and I don't see Hema committee report as something like a bad thing for the Malayalam movie industry.
No,
I think it's the
I-
best thing that
it's the
could
best
happen.
thing that has ever happened in the industry because of the fact that there is a lot of truth being
Yeah.
told to the
Yeah.
society. That there are horny men out there. Horny men who are ready to take advantage of people who are trying to make it big or trying to make their career a little like, you know, now
It's power dynamics.
yeah, it's a power dynamic
Yeah.
thing. This is something which it happens in every industry. It's not just only in movie industry.
Yeah, but finally
yeah,
we took the stand, especially Malayalam cinema took
and
the stand.
it is actually I'm sorry to say, I have to say the word trend, but it is trending at the moment for the fact that it's gone from Malayalam film industry to Telugu film industry to Tamil and
Yeah.
now Kannada film industry, who are keeping their mouth shut. Now everybody, journalists, movie actors, activists, they all wrote like a letter to the chief minister saying you have to do a report like this.
So finally there'll be proper laws and regulations, which is, I think, at this.
I'm hopeful, like hopeful.
Yeah.
That's the word you can use.
Coming back to the topic, since we were discussing about Chandaputta, I'm extremely sure that yes, the makers did a mistake. The industry also, I think, at that point did a mistake by not representing it in a right way. And more than that, I think even the audience have evolved finally. That is why a movie like Kadal came out from the very much same industry. How was it? What was your experience when you watched a movie like Kadal?
I watched the movie with my mother.
Okay.
And that scene where he hugs his father, our father comes to hug him, it touched both of us. Like simultaneously cried. Okay. So for us, it was a moment of we went through the shit as well. Like we went through our form of drama. Yet we are here and we're watching a movie that is actually showing. So my mother's other favorite actor is Mammootty.
Okay.
So for him to play such a character, and you know, like it hits home differently. So she actually loved the movie, and I took her all the way to theater.
Did you guys have a discussion about the movie after watching it?
It didn't have to be a discussion. It was understood.
The message was conveyed and it was clear.
Clear. And you know, like the simultaneously we both crying during that scene is a way to understand that we went through fire with our relatives, with the society, and yet we are standing here. We are seeing a movie which is talking about acceptance for closeted gay men.
While watching the movie, at any point you wish your dad was there with you?
Obviously, I would love to know his take as well, and I think he would enjoy it. But he was more of he's not watched many movies, like selected movies. His movies was more like other എനിക്ക് കുറച്ച് കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. Arnold Schwarzenegger, all those action movies is his thing. So whenever there is an action movie, I actually go and watch it. And people are like, we don't expect this from you. Yes, we also watch action movies.
You had just mentioned that how in your first drag performance, you actually borrowed sari from your mom and her blouse. So at any point, do you think that your mom played a kind of an important role for you to choose a drag career?
So, but if you look at Maya the drag queen, you will see a lot of resemblances to your aunts, your sisters, even your mothers. Basically, I took all those women who were coming in, Kasavasari and Kanjipuram for weddings and showing their latest fashion ghetto. In the why you are wearing the old fashion, like those conversations. So basically, I fashioned Maya according to those women that I've been seeing during my Christian weddings and baptisms and even funerals also. you'll see one Amachi will be wearing one brooch and all of that in their
Mm-hmm.
white sari and walking
Yeah.
around.
We have that characters in our life.
So I took inspiration from them, and my mother was working with like Taj hotels.
Huh.
So they had a particular uniform that you have to do, and the uniform is sari basically,
Okay.
any form of sari, but like cotton, crisp cotton sari.
Mm-hmm.
And she, the way she walks out, no, like it's like she's going to achieve something for the day types. And that is exactly what I inculcated
Mm.
in Maya as well. Like I think a lot of people in the family were saying, oh my god, my mother's name is Renu, oh my
Okay.
god, Renu is just like a superwoman.
Hmm.
That kind of thing was given to my mother. So when you are growing and you are in that growing stage,
Hmm.
you will be looking up to your parents actually, and
Hmm.
you will be taking their whatever qualities and
Hmm.
then putting it in your personality. This is one personality I like put in myself, and it's come through my actually being a superwoman.
Okay. I think this is my next question is kind of extremely personal, but just I wanted to ask, at any point in this last 10 years, have you ever felt like transforming to a woman?
There's only one time that has happened, and that's because one of my ex actually tried putting different thoughts into my head.
Mm-hmm.
So he was saying that, oh, you will look better with the top surgery done. You will look great if your ass is a little more bigger. So basically, he was looking Maya in a way in his viewpoint,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So he wanted me to transition. He didn't ask me, do you want to transition?
Mm-hmm.
So he tried to
Manipulate
manipulate
you.
my mind to a point where I'm going and telling my friends that I might transition.
Hmm.
So that was the only point. Otherwise, I was happy with my body. I'm still happy with my body. That particular point, he did that, and this was I dated him only for 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine for 1 month how much, like a lot of
Influence he had.
influence he had, and how much he twisted my mind.
Hmm.
Young boy, by the way, to just like 18, 20 years old,
Hmm.
he was able to like manipulate my mind. Other in it, I was like, no, if I'm meeting a guy and if a guy is my partner, he has to be okay with me being as Alex and Maya, which is very rare because men like to have buffet of identities. They
Hmm.
love to pick whatever they feel like. But I'm sorry, I'm not a buffet of identities. You can't pick and choose whatever you feel like. You will only get Alex and Maya. Take it or leave it.
Since we are talking about your dating life, with all due respect and with your permission, if I may ask, can I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were just mentioning that a lot of men that came in your life, they were attracted to your character, your drag character, that is Maya. At any point, you felt insecure that okay, people are liking my character, my stage character, than the real me, which is Alex. Though you still consider both are one, people still see you both as two different people or two different personalities. So at any point, you felt like that kind of.
This is bound to happen. This is natural, actually. Like of you being, oh, if people are looking at my femininity and they're getting attracted, and they're saying that that is more what they like, that means there is something, and then something is missing.
Hmm.
Then I come back to no, there's nothing missing. I'm a whole person. They have their insecurities which they're projecting on me, of the fact that they are uncomfortable to be with me when I'm dressed as Alex.
Hmm.
They're only comfortable with me when I'm dressed as Maya. So for me, I'm like, it's your problem. It's a you problem, not a me problem.
But
That's
it
what I just
wasn't
say.
easy, right?
It wasn't
You
easy.
also had your own.
I went through those situations where I'm like, it was not jealousy. It was more like pity on myself, or I was feeling little like, oh, ഇതാണ് എൻ്റെ this is what it is, like my situation, like that kind of ഇതാണ് എൻ്റെ വിധി എന്ന് പറയുന്ന പോലെ. But after a lot of thinking, I realized no, they're projecting their insecurities on me. So I don't need to fall for that. And I'm like, you know what? You need to accept both sides.
So, what are you currently? If you have to talk about your dating life, what's the current conversation like with the people whom you meet?
Oh, it's a step by step procedure. I say, what do you do? Where do you live? That. Then it goes into what's your sexuality. And when I say what's your sexuality, most of the answers man. And
Hmm.
I'm like, that's your gender. Sexuality is who you're sexually attracted to.
Hmm.
And then they'll be like, I'm straight but bi curious, I am bisexual, or most of them are, that is the case with me. But that is the I have those kind of, what do you say, questions that I make sure that then I go into, if they say the sexuality and my sexuality matches, then I go into, are you okay to see me as Alex?
Hmm.
Are you willing to be comfortable with me? If
Hmm.
that is all the case, then it's like green flags എന്ന് പറയുന്ന പോലെ.
Hmm.
If there is a red flag, immediately I know what the question is. What the answer is. Sorry, what the answer is.
So, Alex, you were born in Trivandrum, raised in Kochi. You moved to Bangalore around 2014. Was there any specific reason that you moved to Bangalore?
Yeah, the reason I moved to Bangalore is because I was not feeling accepted in my own homeland. Like
Okay.
I was feeling like there was a slow hints of ostracization. And also, our Samhita, I think around 2001 2, my family and I, we took one small trip to, like 1 day or 1.5 day trip to Bangalore. And I immediately entered the city, I fell in love with it. So for me, when I was like, okay, after my 12th standard, I said, I'm planning to do my graduation here.
Hmm.
That is how my love with the city went.
Hmm.
After graduation, then I came and did my MBA in Trivandrum.
Hmm.
That was like the biggest culture shock of my life,
Hmm.
because it's like going from very an open-minded city to what you say, a narrow-minded city is like a big culture shock. Then from there, I went to got a job in Hyderabad, and then within, say, I think universe worked in my favor. 1.5 years, I moved to back to Bangalore.
Do you feel as a cis queer man, you feel Kerala is still not
There is, I
accepting?
mean, I'll, let's be frank. Like, if straight men included and women and everybody included, if they put a lot of positive comments towards an LGBT individual from Kerala in social media, then I know things are getting better.
Are working in your favor?
Favor.
Hmm.
Otherwise, it's not.
You feel Kerala,
Yeah,
you're still not ready to
I
be in.
still see reels where they're using the K words
Mhm.
and demeaning. They're not gay men around them, but they're still using that, like, derogatory term
Hmm.
in reels.
Hmm.
So basically, like, they are trivializing our existence,
Hmm.
and that's not right.
Okay. What is what I take from this conversation is, Alex, you are a Malayali, a Christian Malayali. In fact, we bonded over how ഞങ്ങൾ രണ്ടുപേരും പത്തനംതിട്ടയിലാണ്.
Orthodox.
ഞങ്ങൾ രണ്ടുപേരും ഓർത്തഡോക്സ് ആണ്. I came back to my homeland because I was like, oh, I'm a Malayali. Let me see what Kerala has to offer for me. And things are working out for whatever XYZ reasons. Pakshe, this is where you were born. You are a Malayali, but you had to move. ഒരു അന്യ രാജ്യത്തിലോട്ട് you had to move just because you felt like your own motherland couldn't accept the way you are. I don't think that's. I mean, at this point, I feel I'm privileged as a straight person. I feel I'm privileged. I can step out. And I remember you telling me like 2014 or 13 സമയത്ത് when you were walking in shorts in Kochi, the way the people were looking at you in a certain way, you did feel uncomfortable. Do I experience that? Yes, I also experienced that.
Which is what also it makes connection with women rights and LGBT rights.
Yeah, now, yes, now it's all connecting the dots. Yes, Pakshe, I don't know, somehow I kind of still feel a little more privileged here, and not putting you down here at all, Pakshe. The fact that it's quite sad that a person had to leave his own homeland because he didn't feel accepted here, and he has to stay somewhere else in a city like Bangalore. At any point you wish to come back to Kerala?
Obviously, I mean, why did I say yes to this? This because I know people in my homeland will watch this. They will see that a person like me exists and that they should actually listen to a person like me.
And this is
And
completely normal. This is normal. That's you.
I honestly, there's nothing normal, abnormal. This is part of life.
Yeah.
This is an art form.
It's your
Actually,
profession at
it's just
this
my
point.
profession. I would like to get paid to perform.
Do,
That's all I want to do.
can we see you performing in Kochi anytime soon?
Yes, give me the money and I will perform.
Give me the money. But let's really hope it's exactly 10 years of you doing your drag performance. And I would personally, I'm manifesting this for you, that you get to perform in your homeland, that is Kochi. And you, at some point, I hope people from your community feel this is safe enough. But we have been always, in this entire podcast, we both have been doing this. So I want to like discuss about this part as well. What I've realized, നമ്മുടെ മലയാളം ഭാഷയിൽ കുറെ തെറികളുണ്ട്, which I am actually not very much familiar with. എനിക്ക് മലയാളമേ ശരി അറിയത്തില്ല, ഇനി ആ തെറി വേർഡും കൂടെ എനിക്ക് അറിയത്തില്ല. പക്ഷെ I know 2-3 words that are problematic and we say it like this. So I was like, what is the right word then? We all know what are the wrong words in Malayalam. ഒരു ആൾക്കാരെ ചീത്ത വിളിക്കാനായിട്ടുള്ളതായിട്ട് എല്ലാം തെറികൾ നമുക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും അറിയാം, and which is being popular also. But I was just curious to know what is the right word to call a person who is queer or who is gay or who is bisexual. We still don't have those right words. So do you think that is kind of a problem?
Why don't we just reduce it to being a human person? Like, why can't we be humane towards each other? How okay, will it make a difference if I am queer and my neighbor is straight? What is the difference? Like, what will be the difference? Only difference is I'll be with my partner and they will be married XYZ with child or whatever. What is the difference? We are still coexisting in our different apartments. Are we coming and spreading this thing? Nothing we're doing. We're living our life. That's all you need to do.
So you're telling that the tags doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but at the same time, we should not give it so much of power. Like, why are straight men so obsessed with the K word? Like, why are they writing it in this thing? Basically, they're projecting, they want to be that.
But maybe but if we start, it's like also feeding positive words.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked this question is there is no positive word for it. So probably if you start feeding in positive
another
words.
thing is, like, if you look at the black community, the N word is, you should not use it. Like, because we are not part of the community, but they can use it
among themselves.
So I think our community should just own it up.
What is that one message, Alex, you would want to give your 16-year-old self?
Don't listen to anyone else. Listen to only yourself, because ultimately your gut is going to actually take you to places.
And what if we have to end it with one key message that you want to give out to your homeland people, that is from Kerala? And I want you to tell in Malayalam, to all the people out there who are scared, who feel rejected, who doesn't feel like a part of the society. What is that one message you want to give? In Malayalam.
ധൈര്യം വേണം. ധൈര്യം ഇല്ലാതെ ജീവിക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ ലൈഫിൻ്റെ എക്സാമ്പിൾ വെച്ചിട്ട് ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത്, എനിക്ക് സ്ട്രെങ്ത് ഉണ്ടായിക്കൊണ്ടാ ഞാൻ ഇങ്ങനെ ഇവിടെ വരെ എത്തിയ, 10 വർഷം കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഇതുവരെ എത്തിയ. അപ്പോൾ I'm coming back to English. Be strong, be kind to yourself, and you will see. Like, don't fall for what society is dictating you to do. Live life in your own terms.
I think that's a beautiful message, and I hope, Alex, through this interview, even if one person have the guts to finally accept, I think more than anyone else accepting, if they can accept themselves and they feel that this is completely okay and not tag themselves as abnormal and have a negative thought, I think we both have done our job.
Yeah.
We both have done our job. We both have done.
And that is exactly my intention for coming here as well. The other thing is, obviously, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, and also for the fact that I would like to sow a seed of change in our homeland, where it can sprout two drag queens, two drag kings, one queer performer, or it could give a change in the society.
Let's really hope the society where we are coming from, doctors engineers ഇത്രയും respect നമ്മൾ കൊടുക്കും. Well, I'm not trying to demean their professions here. They are worth all the respect out there, but we are obsessed with certain professions that we kind of ignore the other professions. And for me, when I saw your profile, like a Malayali ഒരു സാരി ഇട്ട ഒരു ഡ്രാഗ് ക്വീൻ ടെലിംഗ് ദാറ്റ് ഞാൻ മായ കുട്ടികളെ മലയാളി ഡ്രാഗ് ക്വീൻ, I was like, I've never seen this before. Someone apart from my community is doing this. It, for me, it was a cultural shock, and I don't want this to be a cultural shock anymore. For any person, I want that e-conversation kind of, they should know what is drag. What is bisexual, what is gay, what is pansexual, what is queer. These terms, all of this should be normalized. So I really hope that no one should feel the obligation to leave their homeland just because they don't feel accepted. So I really hope that you feel safe and you come back here. ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ടോ ഇല്ലാന്ന് എനിക്കറിയത്തില്ല, but ആരായാലും no person in the society should be ashamed or should feel unaccepted for the way they are, for choosing what they want to live. So thank you so much. You coming to this show means a lot to me. You literally, he's like, you have a flight in next 3 hours while we are doing this interview. So if you guys have noticed, he's going on checking because his Uber is here. We are getting the Uber calls. He's rushing for his flight. There's an Uber strike. But in the middle of all this, we are doing this. But thank you so much once again. And I hope to see you and your performance. Next time, when he and me are together, he's going to be performing.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you so much, guys. With all this, ഞങ്ങളുടെ Uber chat ഞങ്ങളെ വിളിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക. Our Uber guy is like literally calling us. He might miss his flight, so I'm going to keep it short. But thank you so much. Once again, I'll be coming back with yet another episode. Till then, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, The Mumbai Malayali Show. Bye.